This demonstration here is on a timber jointing technique, which is going to use a domino machine. Okay, so some of the joints you can cut using this domino machine are a simple like so, and the two pieces of timber clipped together. So you might want to do a series of those along a piece of timber. So what it does is it lines the two faces up and it allows you to line the timber up like so. Or a rail setup where this has been cut into the end and that just slips in like so. As you can see on the last two joints I showed you, everything has been used off a centre line, which is that pencil mark there and there. So this is the machine itself. It's called a domino machine. Okay. How it actually works is underneath there is a little cutter, which when you turn it on, you virtually just plunge that out and it cuts a groove into your piece of timber. So that's the machine itself. Okay. In the machine goes these cutters, so there's all various different size cutters for depending on the job that you're doing. So they're usually found in the box with the machine itself. In the other box here is the biscuits, or the joints, the parts that go into the joint itself. So they marry up to the cutter size. Okay, first thing we want to do is we're just going to do a joint with two pieces of timber like so. So you pick two good edges which line up. Okay. And we're going to put a joint just in the centre there. So with your pencil and a square, we're just going to put a centre line straight through there, and that's going to be the centre of my joint. Next thing you do is you measure how thick your material is. So that's 20mm thick. So when you're setting up the domino cutter, you want a cutter that is roughly a third of the thickness of your material. So 20 divided by 3, close enough to the next cutter size, is 6mm. So in your box here, you'll find a 6mm cutter. Okay, if you're not sure of this, come and get one of the ABE staff and we'll actually put the cutter into the machine itself. Next thing you've got to do is on the top of the machine here, it tells you your material thickness. So the one we said before was 20mm, so make sure that that there is physically on 20mm. Okay, then this one here actually tells you how deep the cutter is actually going to go into the job there. So we're going to use 6 by 40mm joints, like so. So we want to go half the depth that way, so it's going to be 20. So what we do is we set that up there on 20mm there, so that allows it to plunge in like so. With any timber jointing technique, you always clamp your job down. So for this setup here, I'm going to put a G-clamp here and here, clamp the job down, set the machine up to the vacuum cleaner so there's no dust, and then we'll cut a joint. So make sure your job hangs over the bench just a couple of mil. One G-clamp on there. Another one on the other side here. The whole idea of this is so you've got two hands on the machine itself. Okay, our job's clamped down. The plug of the domino machine goes into the vacuum cleaner here, the dust extractor there. Then this green hose goes on the end of the domino machine like so. This presses on. And then the plug of the vacuum cleaner goes to the power point and then set the machine to auto, which means the dust extractor will come on automatically when you start the machine up. Alright, the main hazard of this machine is a fast rotating cutter. So we've clamped it down, which means our hands are going to be well away from the cutter itself. The personal protective equipment you're going to need are glasses, and a pair of earmuffs. So. Turning the machine on, it's this green trigger here, so what we're going to do is I'll depress it down with my thumb like so and push it towards the front. So that's to turn the machine on. To position the machine, in the centre line we marked on the piece of timber, there's also a centre line on the Domino machine itself, so bring it over the top and all you have to do is line those two marks up, so the centre mark of the machine and your centre pencil mark you've put on. Next thing you do is slide that trigger forward, which turns it on. Once it's on, we're going to push the body of the machine itself that way, and we'll go in, do a cut, and then go back in, and that clears all the rubbish or swarf away. Righto. Put your earmuffs on, got your glasses on. Okay, put the machine on the piece of timber, line up your centre line, make sure it's flat that way and flat that way. And what we're going to do is, once it's turned on, just use the push in here. Okay. So to turn it on, it's in and down. So the machine is on, and I'm just going to plunge it in. Pull it back out. Turn it off. Wait for it to stop moving. Lift it away. Do your job. Okay, and if it's set up right, that domino should just slide straight in like so. So obviously we've got to cut another half now so that the pair go together. Piece down now. Earmuffs on. Okay. With the piece that goes with the first piece we cut, usually what you do is on the top of the machine here there's some width settings, so it cuts the joint wider. So what I usually do for the second piece is I'll bring it round to the second one, makes it slightly wider in that plane, so when you put them two pieces together you can line it up a lot better. So I'll put that on the 2 setting there, sorry, the wider one there. Okay. Machine's over the top, it's nice and flat, start it up. Plunge it in, back out, back in. So forth. So what you can do is actually slide that along and make the end of the piece of timber flush or line up the centre lines.